You know, in the high-stakes world of the NBA, sometimes all it takes is one night, just one single game to expose a crack in the armor, to ignite a firestorm of a debate, and to force a team, a whole organization really, to face a decision that could change their entire future. And for the Boston Celtics, well, that night just happened. That's how Stephen A. Smith put it. Think about that word. He didn't say it was a loss or a bad game, a derailment. Like a train flying completely off the tracks. That's the kind of moment we're talking about, where the team that was supposed to be the championship favorite looked like anything but.
So the scene was Denver. You're going up against the reigning champs, the Nuggets. And this wasn't just a loss, this was a beatdown. The Nuggets basically looked at the Celtics and said, there are levels to this. And they did it even when their own superstar, Nikola Jokic, wasn't even having a great shooting night.
So just how bad was it for Boston? Well, this number, it kind of says it all, doesn't it? 35%. That was their shooting from the field. It was their worst performance of the entire season. Their whole offense just vanished. And if you really want to get to the heart of the problem, here it is. 28% from three. For a team that lives and dies by the three-point shot, this was basically a death sentence, unfolding live on national TV. A total, complete offensive collapse. And that one ugly game, it sparked a much, much bigger fire. It led analysts all over to start asking a question that's been bumbling under the surface for a while, a question about the entire league. And that question is this: is the gap between the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference just massive? I mean, look at the West. You've got the champs in Denver, you've got these explosive young teams like OKC, and then in the East, you have Boston. But now they come with this giant question mark. Can they really win if their three-point shot isn't falling? Can they actually beat one of the West's best teams in the 7-game series? This loss gave a whole lot of ammo to the doubters.
But you know, while all the pundits were yelling about conference strength, some other news started to break. And it completely shifted the conversation. From the team to one man. From a single loss to a choice that could define a career.
Okay, we need to talk about the Achilles tendon. For a basketball player, this isn't just a bad injury. This is the nightmare injury. It's the one that can end careers, the one that can derail a Hall of Fame future. As you always hear, it is just not an injury you play around with. And that brings us right to the heart of it all. Jayson Tatum, the Celtics' absolute superstar, is recovering from that exact injury. And now, the news is out that he's participating in 5-on-5 scrimmages. So the question that is hanging over the entire league is this: should he come back this season?
Now, on one side, you have the argument for extreme caution. I mean, think about it. Dropping a superstar onto a team this late in the game is so risky. You could totally disrupt the chemistry they've spent all year building. Guys who have stepped up now have to take a step back. And the pressure on Tatum to be the hero from day one, it would be absolutely immense.
And that's not even talking about the biggest risk of all, the physical one. Rushing back from an Achilles tear isn't just about playing through a little pain. No. It's about risking a re-injury that could literally change the entire trajectory of your career. It's a massive, massive gamble. And this is where a little context is everything. Just look at the timeline for other superstars who've gone through this. Kevin Durant, he was out for a year and a half. Dejounte Murray, another young guy, needed 13 months. Jayson Tatum isn't even at the 10-month mark yet.
So when you look at the history, when you look at the medical data, when you look at what other elite players have gone through, the evidence just screams one thing. It's crystal clear. Pump the brakes.
But here's the thing. Logic and evidence often slam right into a brick wall called competitive fire. This is what Jayson Tatum himself said earlier this season. He's not putting in all this work, training twice a day, just to sit on the sidelines when it matters most. His whole mindset is wired for one thing: get back on that court. And here's why it's so tempting. Here's the poll. Right now, without Tatum, the Celtics are a contender, but with a lot of questions. But with a healthy Jayson Tatum, they instantly jump to being the favorite, the team to beat. That's the prize. That's the potential reward for taking this huge risk. And we're not just talking about one team's championship hopes here. A healthy Tatum rejoining the Celtics this late would send shockwaves through the entire NBA. It would completely reshuffle the deck for every single team with title aspirations. Which brings us to what might be the hardest job in all of sports. See, a great player's greatest strength is their unbreakable belief that they can overcome anything.
And sometimes an organization has to step in and protect that player's long-term future from their own short-term ambition.
But maybe this whole entire complicated debate really just boils down to one simple, powerful number: 27. That's how old Jayson Tatum is. He's just now entering the prime of his career. And just look at what he's already done. By 27 years old, the man has been to 5 conference finals, 2 NBA finals, and he's already got a championship ring. He's proven everything he needs to prove. He has so much time to do it all again. So if you're the Celtics front office, what's the pitch? How do you convince a competitor like Tatum to wait? You have to talk about legacy. You remind him, look, you're already a champion, you're only 27. The goal here isn't just about one more run, it's about building a dynasty. And for that, we need you healthy for the next decade, not just the next 2 months. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to this single monumental question for both the player and the team. It's a gamble with the highest stakes you could imagine. A shot at a championship ring on one side of the scale and a long, brilliant, healthy career on the other. And nobody, absolutely nobody, knows for sure which one weighs more.